Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. So I'm back here with another Conquest video. Now you'll be able to find this and all my other Conquest video on my SWGOH for Life tool. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. There'll be a link in the description below. In this one, I'll be playing through all the nodes in Sector 3 as well as completing all the boss feats. So that's against CLS. So let me first show you what discs I have equipped. So these are still all the discs I had from previous video on. So got some stacking offense, turn meter removal, buffs, leader's resolve, and entrenched. And I'll just start here with Sector 3 going in. We've obviously got some feats here as well in Sector 3 that we need to look at. So we've got, you have to win 14 with battles with SIF units, you have to apply thermal detonators and 100 debuffs. So the thermal detonator one is definitely my favorite. So let's just start playing through here. And while it's playing through, I'll just want to talk about in this video actually about feats, all the feats, what I think about them, and as well, you know, what I would like to change, what would actually make this a little bit easier, because they're repetitive and now this is the 5th time we have exactly same feats and it just seems like they're becoming really stale. So just a little bit, hopefully, ability there that they could streamline a bit these, just so we don't have to replay certain missions over and over again because they're so repetitive. Now looking first at kind of the global event feats, I've got no issues with those. You have to win 50 battles with light side, 50 battles with dark side teams, then win without tanks in your squad, get critical hits, defeat enemies. So those are okay. I mean, those, you don't really need to focus on them. They just kind of happen as you're playing through. Now in Sector 1 feats, again, we've got scoring critical hits, no problem there. Win at least 20 battles without losing any units. Now, this feat itself is not an issue, but you have to win 20 battles, but we only got 14 nodes. So what happens is you go through Sector 1 and then later on you have to get back to it and do another 6 battles just so that you can get your 20 battles in. So definitely I would like these to just be reduced to 14 CG. No need for us to go back and just, you know, replay some of those missions 6 times more. They're just wasting our time, I think. So I would like to see that reduced to 14 battles and then gain advantage to 40 times. That's not an issue as well. And then in terms of boss feats versus Padme, you have to do 200k damage. Again, not an issue. You use Vader, Culling Blade. Defeat 4 enemies in the same turn. Now this one's slightly tricky, but again, it wasn't that big of an issue here to complete, so no issues there. And then take 15 turns at the start of the battle before enemy does. Again, it wasn't an issue at all. So overall, these feats that we do have versus Padme there, you know, they were quite okay, I think. I wouldn't need any adjustments there, really, at least from my perspective. Now moving on to Sector 2 feats, you have to attack out of turn 100 times. That's fine. At least 100 buffs. I mean, that's pretty easy. Yoda is the quickest one. He just keeps spreading them, or if you have any discs with buffs as well, you know, that's not an issue. And at least here, they give us 14 battles. So not like in Sector 1, we have to do 20 battles. I'm not really sure why in Sector 1 they had 20 battles, whereas all the others actually then have 14 battles. However, these 14 battles you have to win with a full squad of Jedi units. And here again, I'm not a fan of these faction-specific feats, just because of this issue with stamina. And, you know, there's really challenging unless you have pretty much all the Jedi there, including Jedi Master Luke, that you can just whiz through 14 battles there. You know, with all the Jedi. I just, you know, I don't see it happening. So again, you're kind of forced to go back and replay some of them later on when your stamina refills. I really don't like this, when you're kind of forced to go back and just reduce some of the things just for the sake of the feats, especially because feats themselves, they don't really issue any rewards. As mentioned in one of my previous videos about credit crunch, if at least each feat would give you, like, you know, 10 conquest credits, so at least like this you would get rewarded for going back and you know, replaying all the battles just to get all the feats maxed out like this. You know, there's no need really for that. Now in terms of General Skywalker, so that's the boss battle here in Sector 2 with all the feats and everything. So you have to kind of win without using special abilities. I mean, CLS, there's no issues whatsoever. You have to win without tanks. Again, you know, CLS, no issues. Now removing 700% turn meter, if you do not have Gideon here, probably would be a bit challenging to do, but still, at least in this case, you can remove turn meter from all the enemies, whereas with some of the other bosses, you've got 2 out of 3 characters or even more that you can't remove turn meter from. So it's those boss battles that I actually have issues with when you do have to remove turn meter. But for this General Skywalker, I mean, it's okay. You know, I think at least you can remove turn meter from everybody. Let's move on to Sector 3 feats. You have to inflict debuffs. Well, that's okay, no problem. And here we have to win at least 14 battles with full squad of Sith. So similar like in Sector 2 where we had Jedi, again, you know, completing 14 battles there with Sith because of the stamina issue will be, I think, quite challenging, you know, to complete all of them without actually going back and replaying, especially in Sector 3. You know, the enemies are hitting harder. We've got more over-prepared units such as, you know, GOs or things like that they're very fast, and you know, you can win 14 battles with full squad of Sith units probably just in one go, even with lower stamina, but you will be losing some characters, and then you will have to again go back after your stamina refills or use some other team to get a 3-star finish. So again, all these 14 battles will either remove the faction specific feats or reduce that 14 down to, let's say, 7, just half them, because you know, we got only 14 nodes and stamina is becoming an issue then if you do have to use over and over 2 or 3 teams. And then Bombs Away. This is probably my favorite feat of them all, so we could definitely use more fun feats like these. Because, you know, it doesn't really matter, especially for this feat, you don't need to even win a battle. So for example, I just chucked in my Gear 8, Gear 9 Jawas, and you know, they did survive a couple of rounds because of the trenched buff and things like that. So they, you know, even that lower gear, they were able to survive a couple of rounds, and even though they got demolished, they were still able to apply like 40 thermal detonators or something. So, you know, it's a very fun feat to do. And if you do have a Galactic Legend Ray, I mean, you just put Ray in 4 Jawas and you can probably get 100 thermals done in one single battle. So it's definitely, you know, a little bit of fun feat there. So definitely these kind of feats there, I think are more fun there than just have like full squad of 6 units, full squad of Jedi units. So these kind of more feats maybe, because we got now a few units, couple of units like R2 and Django that can apply burning. How about a feat apply burning 100 times, you know, something like that as well. So that kind of feats that you know, they're not too challenging to achieve, but at least it allows you to use different squads, where it's with previous one you have to use Jedi all the time, then you have to use Sith all the time. So at least to give us some variety of teams that we can use without going back and replaying sort of that. Now, for example, now let's go over the CLS feat. So that's the boss battle here in Sector 3. Now the actual feat, win without using Old Republic, that's okay, but it makes absolutely no sense, because what do rebels have to do with Old Republic? So when they do these feats, rather than just, you know, randomly match boss and the feats, I would like that they a little bit pay more attention to the lore as well. So if we're going versus rebels, you should say don't use Empire units. I think that would make a whole lot more sense in this particular case from the lore perspective. Again, you know, it will just be a little bit more fun if we would have some lore thing in there as well. 40 critical hits, I mean, this was an absolute, I mean, you can get it done, but you know, by no means is an easy one to achieve, just because 2 out of 3 enemies you cannot critically hit. So, you know, so these kind of feats where you know, you can't critically hit guys, but you have to score critical hits, or you have to remove turn meter, but you know, many units are immune to turn meter removal. These kind of feats I think shouldn't be matched. So definitely these 40 critical hits should belong to some different boss battle, not to this CLS here. And then, you know, without losing any units, yeah, that's okay as well. Alright, so we're already in the Sector 4 feats. Now, the actual Sector feats, you have to score critical hits, that's fine. Win 10 battles with no attackers in your squad. So see, for example, here, they actually did say win 10 battles. They didn't say 14 or 20. So this is definitely what I would like to see for all these ones. Don't go over, you know, like 10. Because otherwise you just have to go back and replay for no particular reason without any reward whatsoever. And finally, flicked mark at least 40 times. Again, you know, no issues with that. You just find the Night Sister squad and you throw in either your troopers or Jedi Knight Raven and just keep marking them all over and over again. No issues there as well. And now here for the Rey Feats, now the turn meter removal against Rey, you know, this one should not be there at all, because as long as Rey is alive, all the enemies there, when they have inspired, you can't remove turn meter from. So if you're not careful, that inspired will spread quickly, and with a matter of turn or two, everybody's got inspired, so you can't remove turn meter from anybody until you take Rey out. So this is definitely, you know, not a feat that should be matched in my opinion here at all. If you ask me. So maybe they should have switched, so the turn removal feat would be in CLS 1, and then the critical hit from CLS could move down here to Rey. I think that would be much more appropriate. Attacking out of turn, no issues there. And the one, don't use support units. I mean, it was a little bit tricky, but you know, Vader gets it done with the right sets of discs, so no issues there except turn meter removal. Alright, so we're now already in Sector 5 feats here. You have to defeat 100 enemies, no issues. 300 damage over time. Vader does the job very quickly in a couple of battles. You should be able to achieve that one. And then evading 100 attacks in battles you've won. So unlike the thermal detonators, you actually have to evade and win the battle. Now this one particularly, because the main source of evasion here is, you know, Old Band Lead, and then you've got as well both Yoda spreading foresight and things like that, as well as General Kenobi's got foresight. Revan's got foresight. So these are all the Jedi. So wouldn't it make more sense that this evasion feat would be clubbed together in the sector where we have to use Jedi units? I think that would be make a lot more sense, because then again you'd be able to just get the evasion and the Jedi feat done at the same time. Otherwise you're here again used to, you know, rely on your Jedi that are maybe only low on stamina because you use them elsewhere. So just maybe clubbing, you know, the boss feats that are kind of lore specific and that it kind of makes sense. And same thing for sector feats, you know, as well. The damage over time could, for example, be in the previous sector where we do have to use Sith units, because then you would use Vader, apply dots, and then you could, you know, pretty much do 2 feats in one go without, you know, having us to rely all the time again here using Jedi, again using Sith. So pretty much almost end up using the same teams over and over again, unless you want to replay some things. And you know, to be honest, Conquest by no means is so much fun that I would be replaying things, unless they wouldn't charge us for unequipping data discs. If they would remove the charging for data discs, then this would make a whole lot more sense to go back and keep replaying things, because this would be so much fun trying different, you know, data disc combinations together with different teams, and this would make replayable nodes a lot more fun. Right now there is really no replayability when it comes to Conquest, at least from my opinion. It's just same thing over and over again. As soon as you get your max rewards, you're done and you're out of it. And finally, the Kylo feats there in Sector 5, so there's the boss battle. Don't lose a unit with at least one attacker. You know, I didn't find that one particularly challenging. You can use Jedi, you can use Rey. There are many ways to do this. Recover 500k health, again, not too many issues there. And then finally, we've also got the 20 critical hits. Now this one is possible. I was able to do it later on. However, again, it doesn't quite make sense in my opinion, just because these guys, when they do have advantage, you can't critically hit them. So I just wish, you know, that CG would a little bit pair these feats with bosses that actually match well, rather than trying to create something that you have to try, you don't have correct data discs, you as well can't get it done. And also, speaking of data discs, what I would like to see at the end of the boss battle, that last node sometimes just gives you absolute bad data discs. How about in that last node, after you complete the boss battle, you just get selection of all the purple ones, and you just choose whichever purple one you want, you know, because, you know, you have to get some sort of reward after defeating the, you know, boss, especially, you know, sector 4 and 5 are getting harder. So definitely there are some suggestions and way to improve these feats, especially if you would tie together to the lore sort of thing. I think that would make it more engaging and fun as well. But anyways, we've made it through all the way to the end of sector 3 here, and we do have to go against CLS feat. Again, As mentioned before, the no Old Republic feat here makes absolutely no sense. I think they kept this from the previous Conquest, where here we actually had, I think, Darth Revan Sith Empire squad. And in that particular sense, you know, it was, you know, fun actually. Yeah, I'm going versus Sith Empire. How can I defeat them without Old Republic? Here they should just replace this. Hey, go in without using Empire. But anyway, let's just go after the first feat here. Alright, we're just going to get a little bit, you know, run over to begin with, but once we get our thing going, we should be good to go here. Now, unfortunately, they did stun Jolie, so let's just cleanse all this off. There goes Basti. Okay, my guy, still waiting to get a turn. There goes Yoda, there goes Basti. And that's why I brought in Jolie, so he can just bring them all back. And I've done a detailed guide for all the feats here for Sector 3. Again, there'll be a link in the description below to my SWGOH Live tool where you can see the guide. Here I'm just trying out some different things quickly that I didn't get to cover in that video, just to try it out. So again, if you want a detailed guide, link in the description below. But here I'm just using Jedi now to do this. There we go. Alright, so I'm just trying to use Jedi here to get those critical hits. In my guide from last Conquest, I actually used Night Sisters there to get 40 critical hits. So this time I'm hoping Jedi can do it. Obviously, in order for this to work, you will not need to have any sort of disc that boost your damage equipped. Otherwise, you'll be taking these guys out too quickly. So just need to make sure any sort of data discs that you do have equipped are more about survivability rather than offense. Now luckily there, 3PO and Chewie, he's very tanky, so you will be able to put quite a lot of hits into him. Okay, so just basic here, do a small hits, try to avoid now calling Grandmaster Yoda here for an assist, because you know he can do some big hits there. Okay, there we go. Again, calling Jolie for an assist, because you know, Jolie is doing small attacks there. Just basics. I do not want to mass attack there 3PO and Chewie and take him out, but still you gotta be careful, like these three guys can still take somebody out from your team, so you still gotta be careful here. And all these debuffs, but obviously luckily we do have cleansing here from Shakti, Revan can cleanse, Basti can cleanse, so you know, as well as Jolie, everybody has some sort of cleansing ability, so it's not an issue. Let's leave 3PO and Chewie alive so we can put more critical hits into him. There goes Blind, unfortunately, so our attacks will be missing. But in one way this is good because it just allows them to recover some health and protection while we are missing because of the Blind. Okay, Yoda here. There we go. So you can see 3PO and Chewie is very tanky, which is good. It makes this much easier. So I would say overall, I did Night Sisters last time, but this one I feel like it might be easier to achieve. Although as you can see, things can go south very quickly here. So let's swap Thermitter with Jolie and bring everybody back. And 3PO and Chewie back to full health. Let's spread some buffs. Okay, alright, yep. So they keep going, the Thermitter train is in full effect still. Okay, get a stun on 3PO and Chewie, just to slow him down a bit. Keep him alive for now. Han is putting in the work. Get some counter attacks. So we got quite a lot of critical hits here. Again, with these kind of hits, it would be really helpful. We've said this many times, and you know, I'm gonna say it again, we really need some sort of counter for the feats, so just so you know, okay, when did I get my hits in, so I can just go ahead, finish off the battle and win, instead of, you know, wasting energy and stamina, just in case, you know, that feat was not done. Now 3PO and Chewie there unloaded his AoE. Okay, there we go. Ooh, revive, not quite ready yet. Anyway, Jolie is full health and protection, so hopefully he can make it. Okay, let's top up Jolie there. We need him alive. There we go. Bring everybody back. And I think I'm good here with the feats. At least I hope I had enough critical hits. Let's cleanse. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cleanse again. Let's hide Revan because, you know, he's almost dead there. And I think we can just go all out now. Finish off 3PO and Chewie. before he unloads another AoE and potentially taking all of my guys out. And there we go, and I think that should be more than enough critical hits. At least I'm hoping so. Let's have a look. Okay, there we go, we completed without losing any unit and scoring 40 critical hits. So we got 2 out of 3 feats done, so we got only 1 more where you have to win without using Old Republic. And that's why I used Night Sisters in previous one, because I just wanted to avoid using Old Republic in that one. So again, look, I defeated CLS there, and I'm not interested in Future Vision at all. I mean, it's a nice one, but I do not want to waste 4 dots just on this one. What, you gain Foresight after you gain 10 buffs? I mean, both Yodas can give you Foresight instantly, so... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just go back into Sector 3. I don't know why we got kicked out into Sector 4. I'll just go hop in. Now this is battle here without using Old Republic. What I found was just this CLS mirror match. That seems the easiest one. We stunned their Chewbacca. Unfortunately, they stunned our Chewbacca as well, so we do not have as much firepower to begin with. Yeah, let's call Hunt Furnaces. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Alright, come on, I need my Chewie. There we go. So we got nice couple of assists there. So now we can finally critically hit Luke and Han, as well as stun them, unload an AoE. Boom! Ooh, CLS is quite beefy here. There he goes. Get stun on 3PO and Chewie. No stuns, unfortunately. Stun. There we go. Now we got a stun. He's gone. Only down to Han Solo now. And an AoE. Boom. There we go. And this completes now the last feat here. In this here Sector 3. We got all the boss battle, all the boss feats complete. Now probably just have a look. Is there some teams that we missed that we didn't 3-star any of the nodes? And I still need to complete 2 feats in this sector actually. Alright, so we need to take care of these bounty hunters. We need to apply more thermal detonators here, so I'm just kind of using Gideon with Throne a little bit to give support to my bounty hunters, so we get to apply a few thermal detonators. This team didn't work all that well actually. I was just trying out. The one with Throne lead worked better actually, but I just thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Alright, there we go. Alright, so got only 27 thermals left to go here. So let's try another battle here. This time just Gear 8, Gear 9 Jawas. There we go, look at all the thermal detonators being applied there. I think, there we go, that completed the thermal detonator feed. So, you know, even if you got crap Jawas, just throw them in there. And while you do waste energy, but hey, at least this feed, it's a little bit fun. Just, you know, when do you get to use your Jawas unless they're relic, right? So that was fun. Anyway, we have to now restart these battles, so I'm just bringing in my Sith. Taking these guys out. There we go, boom, 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 yep, okay, yep. All the dodging there due to foresight, and boom, there we go. So we got 3-star this one. Let's see, is there anything else I need to 3-star? Okay, we got this Rey battle, so let's do just quick CLS here battle. Because Rey here, you know, they're over prepared, lots of speed, their modifier gives them so much bonus turn meter. So I think CLS is a good one to counter this because they've got their turn meter train of their own. There we go. Also now have to 3-star the Geo one. There we go. Big hits. Boom, boom, and there we go. And this now completes all the playthrough through all the nodes, all 3 stars and everything except the 14 battles with Sith units. Obviously, I will have to go back and replay this one in case I need it for the max rewards. We shall see in the end. But so far, good progress here, clearing pretty much all the bosses without any issues. We also made some good progress on the event feats here, as you can see. Getting there slowly. Most of them I think will get complete anyway without much of the attention here. Alright guys, thank you for watching the Sector 3 playthrough, showing as well how this time I completed all the feats in the boss battle. I hope you find it interesting and useful, as well as some of my thoughts around the feats. I'll see you in Sector 4 video, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.